There's a story from history that I find absolutely fascinating about how a hiring process almost cost a nation its liberty. It's from the first book of Samuel. The children of Israel came into battle against the Philistines, and the Philistines proposed a covenantal battle, which is simply you bring your champion, I'll bring my champion. If my champion takes out your champion, you become my servant. If it happens the other way, I become your servant. The Philistines brought their champion, and suddenly King Saul of Israel knew he had a big problem. He had a giant problem. That giant's name was Goliath. He was so much bigger than everyone in Israel. They looked like ants to him. And King Saul and his troops were demotivated. This went on until David showed up. David goes to King Saul and says, "Can I serve you by fighting this Philistine?" King Saul took a look at him and said, "He's been a warrior since his youth. You're only a youth." I also assume that King Saul was thinking, "You're very small." The Bible says that King Saul was head and shoulders taller than everyone in Israel. Fortunately, David pushed back and said, "I have killed bears and I have killed lions that try to eat my sheep. I will dispatch him like the bears and the lion." And King Saul saw that logic and said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead. But before you go, let me give you my own armor and my own helmet." King Saul was a big dude. When David wore the armor, it was clunky, it was heavy. Fortunately, David had the bravery to say to King Saul, "Thanks for your armor, but no thanks. I just want my sling and my 5 stones." So David went into battle against Goliath, and the famous story has it one shot in the head and Goliath was down. Now, what's the lesson from that story? First, King Saul had a new problem, but he was trying to solve it with old solutions. Saul was trying to find someone bigger than Goliath. He was used to just going by size. And when he found someone who could help him, he said no. Fortunately, he understood what David was saying. He gave David permission to go against Goliath. But then he made a second mistake. He offered David his armor. How he knew to solve problems. Fortunately for him, David pushed back. So in business today, think about what problem you have before you write your job description, not how you want it solved. Because when you start with what, you open up the aperture to realize that solutions might come from a completely different domain. It might be someone from another industry, another department, but just open that aperture. Start with what, not how. The second thing is, if you've finally done the hard work of finding who can solve your problem, don't get in their way. Let them operate the way they know how to operate. If you hire starting with what and not with how you've done it before, and you let your new hires work in the way they know how to work, you likely will have a much more successful organization.